Hello and welcome back to Strawman Gaming, where today we have a Let's Look At video, and the game that we are going to be looking at is, as you can see on the top left here, Warhammer Vermintide 2. This is the new Left 4 Dead em-up from relatively unknown studio Fat Shark. I've played about 15 hours of it, I'm enjoying it, so I wanted to share with you. And I'm gonna spoil it here, I'm gonna recommend this game. I think if you like first-person shooters, Left 4 Dead style games, you like the Warhammer universe, then this game has something for you. So I'm going to try and talk you through some of the core mechanics, show you a little bit about what's going on, and yeah, try and show you how the game works. So we'll start by, looking at heroes. So the person I've been maining is Sienna, who in my head is called Sienna Ferguson, but she's Sienna Fugonasus, which probably means fire something, because she's a bright wizard. And you have these 5 different characters. We have this guy, dwarf boy, who's very cool. We have our Waystalker, an elf. They don't have pupils, by the way, their eyes are just black. We've got our witch hunter, who's a knob. And we've got our bright wizard. I've been playing as the Unchained because it's really broken, but you start with the battle wizard and you have these things over here. Your passive ability is tranquility, which is if you don't take damage for 8 seconds, you start to vent overcharge. Overcharge is when you cast magic, you start to build up a bar. If it gets full, you explode and you are downed. And you can be picked up, but it's annoying. There's also other things over here that don't explain. And you have your career skill, which is like an ultimate. You press F when the bar's full and you will firewalk. So she will dash forwards and do flames on the ground. At level 5? 7? Level 7. You unlock Pyromancer, and her passive ability is the more overcharge she's built up, she has a higher critical strike chance, so you do more damage. And her ult is different again. So they're variations of a theme. You know, different things happen to do with overcharge. You have different abilities, and you kind of, you play slightly differently based on them. Most of the characters in this game are melee focused with a ranged capability. I think, in fact, all the characters are that. There's no purely ranged build. But then we come to, by far, the most interesting build that the Bright Wizard has, which again is unlocked at level 12, which is called the Unchained. And over here, on the right where it says passive ability, this is only a fraction of the information you need to know. So 50% of all damage taken is transferred to overcharge, so you take damage half as quickly, but a bar builds up on screen. But you can vent overcharge by holding R, but that takes away some health, so you don't need to do that. But what it doesn't say here is if when you block with Sienna, we'll talk about blocking later, that the damage reduces your overcharge. So effectively, you could take half damage with very, very little penalty. And as your overcharge goes up, you do more physical damage. So she really does benefit from having overcharge. And even more than that, she's meant to be the most melee focused, yet she allows you to use the staff more because overcharge is less of a penalty and you can vent it so much more easily by parrying or by using her career skill or ultimate called Living Bomb. You press F and you vent all your overcharge and you do massive area of effect damage around you. So, these two are just kind of variations on a theme. They do have significant differences, and you can play them quite differently and get quite varying results. But this third career is like a very different beast. It's like a tanky, DPS-y build versus two kind of very fragile builds to start with. And then let's take a look at another one. Do I understand any of these? Okay, so the dwarf base class is the Ranger Veteran. It has advantage at range because it has a special ammo drop. Like when you kill a special enemy, again we'll see them in a bit, it drops an ammo packet, so he basically always has ammo. And his career skill is he can disengage. And then you go up to this guy, who is, sword and board. He is better defensive. And, every 20 seconds he completely absorbs one hit. So that's a good way to mitigate damage. And he can taunt. Whereas you get to the final level, Slayer, and it's much more aggressive, you attack much more quickly, you do more physical damage, and you have like tools like your ultimate to get into combat quicker. So, you know, these three, again, they play very differently. You've got a more range focused, a protection focused, and a DPS focus. And, you know, it's the same for all of them. Like, you know, they all have different things that tweak the way you play them. And there's 5 of them, and there's 3 career paths for each. So, you know, if my math checks out, that's 15 different ways to play this game. And beyond that, let's select Sienna, and we'll load into Tal's Keep. You can come along. This is loot boxes, but we'll talk about that in a bit. You can come in here and go to talents. And there's additional ways that you can change the way that your character plays. Also, this wasn't listed on the character select screen, but you see up here. No overcharge slowdown. Increase melee power on high overcharge, so the more overcharge you have, the more damage you do. And Blazing Sinews reduces block cost on high overcharge, consumes overcharge. So when your overcharge is high, you can block better, and it consumes your overcharge, so you're less likely to explode. So I found this is a really good and really versatile setup for Sienna. I can still do range damage. In fact, it incentivizes it because it builds up my overcharge to increase my melee power, so I can like do staff, go to melee and just wreck shop. It's great. And if it gets too much, I just press F, I explode and everything dies. Excuse me. So, you know, these talents are... They're less transformative than the careers, but they do help shape stuff. So, max overcharge by 25%. That means you can absorb 25% more raw damage before you would explode if you're not using anything to vent your overcharge. That's really useful. Or you can have 20% more health for raw survivability, or Backblast, which increases effective block and push arc by 30%. So, okay, this is a lot to explain suddenly. If you see here, this is the weapon I'm using, a fire sword. Where it says stamina, it says 3, which means you have 3 units of stamina. They can be subdivided, but that's basically, you know, you have 3. Another game might say you have 30. It doesn't matter. But the symbol next to it shows you the effective block and push area, the arc at the top of the circle. And what this means is, if you're blocking, you can block damage from any direction. But if you're blocking toward, like, if your enemy is in that arc, the block will be twice as effective. And if you press push, you can push in that arc. But you know, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. There's also a crafting system that's actually fairly useful and intuitive, and I've had a good time with it. Cosmetics, they're not unlocked until legendary loot boxes, which you don't get until higher difficulties. And there's equipment. You know, standard stuff. Weapons give you a power level. Power is calculated based on your hero level and the average value of all your equipped items. My power level is 236 for this character, and that increases my damage dealt, number of enemies penetrated by attacks, and the stagger level. Those things, you know, there's guides online about how they work, but basically the number of enemies penetrated is my power goes up against their defense rating. There's a calculation done, and if I come out on top, I can penetrate through that enemy into the enemy behind them and do more kind of area of effect damage. Gear, you know, blue is better than green, orange is better than blue, red's better than orange. Blue stuff has 2 blue properties, so this is 10% power versus chaos and 5% power versus inventory. Green stuff only has 1. Orange stuff, I think, has 2 or 3, but also has a... Oh, what are they called? Traits. And traits can really affect the way games play, because it can affect an ability. So a weapon trait might make a fireball behave very differently, or it might make a beam staff behave very differently. I don't know. I've not had one yet, but I know they can seriously change the way the game works. And, you know, these just, they give you power level and they give you properties. So while we're here, let's look at the crafting a little bit more closely. Anything you don't want, you can salvage into here, and you get various forms of scrap and then dusts, depending on the item's rarity. You can craft items, so if I want a Flamestorm staff, I can create that, and it will use scrap, and it will make something appropriate for my item level with a chance of it being a rare or epic, or whatever the nomenclature they use in this game is. Reroll equipment properties. As we saw, this has a property of plus 4.4 attack speed. If I want to change that, I can change it randomly by putting it in there. If I want to change trait, same thing. Haven't got anything with the trait. Upgrade upgrades items from, you know, common to green, green to blue, blue to orange, and so on. You know, fairly standard stuff. Extract weapon illusion. Some weapons, like this one, have an illusion which makes them slightly prettier. You can extract that and put on another weapon. And that's why we have extract weapon illusion, apply weapon illusion. Simple as that. That is this menu pretty much explained. And then we've got these. These are loot boxes. And I know you hear loot boxes, and these days it's a dirty word, but these are what I'm going to call free-range ethical loot boxes, in that they're only earned if you're playing the game. They can't be bought with currency, either real or in-game. And if we finish a level, I'll explain it in more depth, but the better you do in the level, the better the loot box becomes. And what I really like is the power of a loot box is linked to the difficulty level you completed the level on. So let's go on. I'll just show you the difficulty levels while I'm here. Recruit, Veteran, Champion, Legend. So on Recruit, the highest obtainable hero power is 100. That means items from loot boxes can only give 100 hero power. On Veteran, that goes up to 200, 300, and it's capped at 300 for Legend. So what's the advantage? Okay, more XP gain. So sack that. But I'm going to play on Recruit because I'm a scrub and I don't want to embarrass myself. But that means that these loot boxes that I think are earned by, yeah, max power 100 and max... Oh, commendation chests are from leveling up, whereas these are from completing levels. But what I think is really good is I earned these as Sienna, but if I switch to... so I'm coordinating with my friend Tom about which ones we're going to level up. So he's going to do Kruber next, so I guess I'll do the Witch Hunter. So, you know, as I'm this guy, this is my first time playing as him, my equipment's garbage. You know, I've got the starting... I was going to call it a stick. I've got the starting rapier, the starting pistol, the starting necklace. I can put on my other necklaces. They're not a problem. But if I want equipment, I'd have to play as this guy who's trash. But whoever I open the loot box for, I will get gear for that character. It doesn't matter who earns it, it's who opens it. So 3 whites, okay. I think it's because this guy... Okay, that's actually quite good. So that's a necklace. So the necklaces are useless because I already have better necklaces, and necklaces can be shared between characters. So I'll open this. Maybe we'll get... Okay, so apparently the quality of your item is linked to your character's level. But now we've done that, we can see how much stronger this character will become when we put new equipment on. So it's hero level 15. So my level's 1, so it's never going to be that high. But I can go to my strongest melee weapon, which is that one. Strongest range, that one. That. And I'm 116. So we're much stronger, but... What's this gun?
You going to hang around all day?
Cool. I've never played as a witch hunter, so that's interesting. But if we switch to Sienna, she has a strength of 236 with very similar statted gear. It's just I've got a multiplier for my level. So that, you know, that's a way of you can't just jump into end level content with a new character, which forces you to, you know, progress and level up your character. But enough of this. Let's go on with playing the game. I'm going to quick play. I'm going to quick play on Recruit, just because I want to show you finishing a level. I don't want to embarrass myself. So I'm hoping we don't jump into a game already in progress, which I don't know if we are. No, we're not. Tal's Horn Keep is like the hub world. So this should be an easy mission. We've got a level 3, which, you know, that's fine for a recruit. Also a level 18 and 26. So this should be fairly cakewalkish. And as I'm going through, I'll try to explain what's happening, what we're seeing, why we're doing what we're doing, or what's going on. But it, you know, it should be reasonably self-explanatory. At this point on, it's kind of just a... I don't know, just a let's play, I guess. Oh, you can see here, the bar in the middle of the screen building up is my overcharge. I can charge my weapon and do a big fireball. If I want to vent that, I can press F. Oh, it's not high enough yet. And I can press F. Oh, it's not charged. Sod it. Okay, let's just start the level. So, because it's quick play, you get a bonus for doing it on quick play. So it doesn't matter what level I do, because they're all much for muchness. I know this level very well, so this should be fine. The game loads really quickly. I've not even got this installed on my SSD, and you can never see all of the intro cinematic. This is the first level of the third act, which was the first level of the beta. So if there's a mechanic I miss or forget to explain... Okay, so I'll block, and see I've got 3 shields. Sec. Oh, okay. That means I have 3 arbitrary units of block. They can be subdivided, and if I block an attack, I will normally use half a shield. If I block an attack from a special enemy, I'll lose more than that, sometimes all of it. If I block, I don't take any damage. And if I'm blocking, I can tap, attack, lose a shield, and push enemies back and stagger them. Or I can hold block and hold down attack, and I'll do a pushback and an attack, which uses more stamina, but there's very little risk assumed in doing that. Again, I'm trying to build up my overcharge at this point, because there's really no downside to it as the Unchained. There's always a healing potion here, like right at the start, and you start with a healing potion on the easiest difficulty. On the next difficulty up, you don't. On difficulty above that, they turn on friendly fire. So if I did that, that would have hit. Well, that one missed, but I'm going to switch to melee for a bit because I've built up a bit of melee. Well, I don't understand if it has to be overcharge has to be red or it just has to be built up a little bit. Oh gosh, is it a troll? At this point, they normally spawn a special, which can be like a troll, a rat ogre, chaos spawn. Let's try hitting it. They're pseudo specials. They're like them and chaos warriors. They are harder enemies, but they're not. Okay, purple. Okay, we've got. Okay, let's try and explain potions. Strength potions increase all damage done for 8 seconds. Concentration potions will basically give you a full charge of your ultimate ability, which as Sienna as the Unchained is good because she has the slowest charging ult of all of them. So it's very stabby. If you hold attack, you can do a... You see, I take damage and my my health goes down slightly and my overcharge goes up slightly. This guy's trying to go up here because there's a tome. And tomes are one of the ways to improve your loot box at the end of the level. The more tomes you collect, the better the loot box becomes. The trade-off is that you carry tomes in the slot that you would carry a healing potion, so if you're carrying a tome you can't heal. And there's 3 on each level, I think. So at the end it means that only one of you can be carrying healing supplies. So it makes the game more difficult and you're rewarded because of that. Do you know what, let's just switch back to my leech. So these guys will suck onto you and suck health out of you. It's very Left 4 Dead in that a lot of the enemies are specifically created to counter player behaviors. So, characters that wander off by themselves, they will get hit with specials that like pin them down and kill them or drag them away. There are characters that will throw poison mist at you to try and divide up the pack. You know, and there's super specials that are like big tanky mini bosses. This is a chaos warrior. So this is my time to shine. Oh, I forgot that we're on recruit and a lot of us are quite strong. Chaos Warriors can mess up your life. Certainly on the higher difficulties, one of those is no joke. But, you know, I'm just showing you the mechanics of the game and how it works.
Pick up the pace, darlings. Lives count on our haste.
There's so much risk reward with this character, because if I overcharge, like if I get hit once or twice from here, I would overcharge and explode. But keeping yourself overcharged gives you more melee damage. So, oh, like this is a warp fire thrower who's dead. And you know, if you keep your overcharge high, you can press F and I can just explode everything. It's maybe not the best, like maybe I should have played on a slightly high difficulty, but again, it's not about showcasing my ability, it's showcasing what can happen. Oh, there's another Chaos Warrior that's not going to matter, because he'll die in 2 hits. There he goes, just dead. They're armored, so, oh, here we go. A proper fight. Chaos Spawn are annoying because they grab you and they start healing when you grab when they grab you. Okay. So I used my vent there because I didn't want to explode because it downs you automatically. And on recruit you can be downed 3 times without healing, I think, or your 3rd time downs you permanently. Probably a better way of phrasing that. Hit him. He's not exactly small. When he goes blue like that, it's because the witch hunter is marking him, and the witch hunter does higher damage against a marked creature. See, that guy got grabbed, so I'm trying to kill him quickly before he heals. There we go. As you can see, like it's hard to. I should have shown you a different character first, but like. Look at how much damage Dral has taken. And he was getting messed up by that Chaos Warrior, but I take half damage and half of it's overcharge, but overcharge... Okay, there's about to be a tornado here. Because there's a bloody wizard somewhere. And this is one of the ways that they can, you know, they counter player behavior. They can divide you up from your pack by putting this swirling tornado in your way. And, you know, this is all controlled by an AI director. It doesn't always happen that way. There's not always a Chaos Spawn there. There's not always a wizard that summons that. You know, it changes every time you play, and difficulty by difficulty. He's not dead. Where is he? I don't want to get sucked into the world. Also, when it makes that little kind of shink noise, it's because I've shot an enemy in the head and done critical damage. I don't do it as often as I should. With the beam staff, you can do it a lot because it's just a constant stream. You can just hold it on their head. There he is. Die. Okay, the wizard has been killed, so the tornado has been dispatched. I haven't really shown you blocking, but I haven't really needed to. Right. See, I use half a shield, and he gets stunned when he hits me, and he can push people back and stagger them. I got a hit there. Yeah, that's fine. Oof, sorry, I nearly killed that pig. Don't kill the pig. I say, Unchained are very hard to kill. We have twice the health of everybody else. Okay, so the guy going in here is probably gonna unlock something called a Skaven Grimoire, which are hidden items throughout the level, which again improve the quality of your loot boxes. Okay, so something has grabbed. Yeah. So now we have a Grimoire, and if you look at my health bar, about a third of it has gone. So our maximum HP has been reduced by a third, which again, as Unchained, is less of a thing because I have twice as much as anyone anyway. And I'm incentivized to block because it reduces my overcharge. So, you know, one Grimoire is fine. The second Grimoire reduces another third, so you're down to 1/3 health. It makes the game much, much harder.
That's a fire round. Someone kill it.
Right. Pathetic. Oh, this guy's He just died. Okay. Do not wander off when playing Vermintide. That's... You know, if you get separated, the game will spawn like a Packmaster rat that puts you on a spike and kills you, or an assassin rat that just jumps on you and stabs you and kills you and you have to be rescued from. There's another Grimoire up there. I'll probably get it because we're on easy mode. Even though we're a person... Oh, we're about to fight a mini-boss. So I'll do it after we've fought that. So I'll just heal.
What an odd taste.
So, potions are less good than healing kits, because if you have temporary health, which is displayed as white, potions remove it and then heal you, whereas healing kits... So we've got a Storm Fiend. This is an armored rat ogre. I bet it has this thing on its back, you see? And that is basically its head. It takes critical damage if you attack that. Ow. Okay, so I need to... No, I'm gonna have to vent. Okay, I vented. Didn't kill anything, but it stopped me dying. Start off with your warp fire. It's getting close to it. There. Warp fire. For those who don't know, in Warhammer, the warp is like hell, but not like hell as in like, you know, kind of Judeo-Christian type hell. Have you seen the movie... Oh, what's it called? Oh, I'm so mad. I've forgotten what that movie's called. Uh-oh. Stop going up. Okay. What's it called? Bloody, what's it called? It's got Lawrence Fishburne and on that spaceship, and it like teleports by bending space-time. Oh, Event Horizon. If you've seen Event Horizon, the warp is meant to be like the kind of a hellscape that travels through to travel across.
Can't feel my hands.
Shit, gonna have to heal. So yeah, it's an awful bloody hellscape of a place. And these Skaven, these rat creatures, use that power somehow. So now I have 2 grimoires and almost no health. So that's fine. I'm going to go upstairs here and I'm going to get a grimoire. Not a grimoire, a tome. Or this guy might get it. He can't because he's already got a... He's already got a... Oh no, he can hold a... He can hold both. There we go. Now I have a tome. Oh dear. But you know, we're still on noob mode. I've still got twice the health of everybody else. I'm by myself, which I've... Do you know what? I don't want to be by myself. So I'm just you know, not be by myself. Because again, if you get pack-mastered or assassins, you're just dead. And then you're a disappointment to everyone around you. Blocking. See, like, as you block, your overcharge goes down hugely. Fat leech bitch. So that's an assassin there. He's gonna jump at us soon enough. Okay, or get shot out of the air. Like the pistol weapons are hit scan, so you don't have to aim ahead. Whereas I have like quite significant. I mean, quite significant. It's like maybe a third the speed of the sniper rounds in Battlefield. But yeah, I'm not great with it. But in any case, like every time you play this level, it's been different. This is probably my 6th time playing this level, and though the locations of like things like the tomes and grimoires don't change, what enemies will be where changes. But you come to an A and like, okay, hit before we got a rat ogre here, so be on your guard, and then there'll be nothing. So it creates this sense of tension that you know there could be something here. So there's a tome down there that he's gone down to get. And I have all the tomes, both grimoires. So this is basically as much as you can do to get a better loot box. There's also things called loot dice, which are randomly placed throughout the level. He looked really tiny. Are you the wizard? Yeah, you're the wizard. Die. Please die. He died. I need to block some stuff. Stop shooting everyone. Okay, that horn only means a horde. It might always mean a horde, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, there we go. An interesting point about this game is there's a lot of blood. No one would ever say there's not a lot of blood. And you know, while this is relevant, violence in video games does not translate to violence in real life. That is an idiotic argument that is not supported by any peer-reviewed study. But I have this set to 100% violence. 100% isn't the cap for violence. The cap for violence is 500%. So we could have 5 times as much viscera and blood and splatter as we currently have. I'm going to pick this up. There we go. They only heal a percentage of your health, which is annoying, so... Die. I shouldn't use that healing item, because now he's going... Oh no, the elves are alright, because they below 50% health, they heal their health naturally. Okay, so we're coming up in this area, we have to progress through it fairly quickly, and free survivors. That is a storm vermin, they are a slightly stronger enemy. Okay, so they've got healing items, they're fine.
I'm sure you've nothing better to do.
See, people are just healing up because they can.
You're making it worse.
When you pick up a healing item, you have to drop your tome. Okay, that like, ching! I shot that guy in the head. Oh, here we go, a Chaos Warrior. Aim for the head. Jeez, they're dying fast. Do you know, the game, no, because... They recommend like about 100 character strength to have a good time on recruit. My character strength was what, 240? So I'm overpowered for this level, and a lot of us are. But the way the difficulty scales so rapidly, and things become so important, like squad like optimization. Like, is this a set of builds that will work well together? And there's all sorts of synergies. And if you're just playing with randoms, the answer is quite often no. People are just playing whatever they think is the best rather than what will do best for the team. You know, it's a co-op game, so people will naturally just chase numbers rather than doing what's best for the team, as everybody knows from every co-op game there's ever been. You know, I'm playing this because, yeah, it gets good numbers, but also, I'm great for tanking. Like, I can stand at the front. Like, I've had entire Chaos Spawn fights where they've only attacked me. Because they can just keep hitting me and my health goes down so slowly and I can just block. Constantly. Not overcharge, take very little damage and... okay. I used my special ability there, but I've got a... yeah, I never explained the potions! I did, I explained some of them. I explained strength and concentration. You also have speed, which makes you move faster. Healing that heals. There's more than that. Oh, is that it? Oh, that might be it. Purple, blue, and yellow. And green. Wait, where's extra person? Oh, they're all there. Okay. Someone has to keep an eye on these savages. Oh, that was a storm vermin, I didn't even notice. Storm vermin slightly stronger. In the first game, you only had the rat enemies. Something they've added in Vermintide 2 is the North men, which are followers of plague god Nurgle. He's a horrible bastard that, you know, is like the god of like pus and pestilence and all sorts of just grim, horrible nastiness. So yeah, there's a much more diverse cast of enemies. in this one than versus the previous game. I'm just pressing on because someone's ahead of me. I'll get the loot goblin. There we go. They drop potions upon death, but they try and flee and avoid getting killed. See, I think we're getting a bit cocky. We're like running ahead, we're splitting up. That guy over there is miles away. So, to me, that says they're going to spawn like a really big enemy. Or just horde after horde after horde. I know this isn't true for this game, and there's a surprising amount of complexity to the melee combat that I'm not exhibiting because I'm playing on the recruit. But the game, you know, for something that's so hack and slashy, it really does incentivize blocking, pushing, crowd control, and you know, playing sensibly rather than just, you know, I've always been like, well, just hack your way through. Like that, because it works. But when you've got higher health enemies, it doesn't work. Would you dickheads come on? And you have to block, you have to create space, you have to stun. So, you know, it looks very simple. And on easy difficulty it is. Point and click. And you'll be fine. But there is hidden complexity. Uh-oh. Yeah, come at me, scrub. Or just die before you can even swing your axe once. And again, because I'm unchained, I'm not playing very carefully because I'm taking half the damage of everybody else anyway. And it all just, like half it just goes to overcharge, which I can vent by holding R. Oh, I can't vent! Oh, that must be what me mean when they said no overcharge. Cooldown? Speed up reduction? So I can't vent, but I can parry stuff. But on the previous characters, when you vented, you had to use HP. Like, it hurt you to vent your fire. So, it still has... It has probably a better option than venting, because it doesn't cost HP, and all you have to do is block, which prevents damage anyway. So yeah, this... I think this is a good character to demonstrate, because it plays so differently to all the other versions of Sienna, which are just very weak, very fragile, but very high damage characters because of her staffs and her, you know, her ultimate abilities, which are quite good. I'm gonna drink this potion just, well, I can't even, there we go. See my purple bar at the bottom going up quickly? As other characters, you can probably get 3 or 4 ults out of this one, but this is the character with the slowest charging ult in the game. So that went well. We got 3 tomes, we got 2 grimoires, I don't know if we've got any loot dice, and we'll see how that translates here as we come to the looting screen. So, this is my experience. My level is 13, trying to go up to 14. I don't think I'll manage it this time. So I would get a crate for leveling up. That was one that showed like a chest, but this one, because it's on easy, you get a strong box. And on the left, the things level it up, and when that bar at the bottom fills, it'll go up a level. So 3 tomes got us a level and a half. 2 grimoires got us about a level and a third. And Ranald's gift. Ranald is like the god of randomness in the Warhammer universe. So we've got a general strong box. It got upgraded 2 or 3 times. Didn't do great. I killed the most, but in terms of... Actually, I did pretty well. Like, I can't feel bad about that, and I took almost the least damage. So, you know, I'm happy with that performance. Killed the most, did among the most damage. Most range kills. You know, it's fine. It's a fine performance. I'm going to boot these guys. Well, I'm going to leave the party. And then we'll open some... Well... See, here's the thing. And this is what an interesting wrinkle I feel. If I look at all my gear on this character, my weapon is power 100. My staff 119. Necklace 106. 100. 106. So nothing I could get out of this would be strictly higher power than what I'm wearing right now. So, before I open that, I'm going to go to Hero Selection. I'm going to go back to Witch Hunter Captain Man. Stabby, stabby, stabby. And I'm going to open it with this guy. Hope we get something not trash. White, white, white. Yeah, so I think when you're low level, you can only get whites. Yeah. So, what can I demonstrate? I should, let's have a look at the crafting. Let's switch back to Sienna, just so I know exactly what's getting used. Go to crafting, salvage, 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 salvage. Because they're common items, they won't give me any dusts, they'll just give me junk, essentially. So I got 1 gem cutter's toolkit and 5 scrap. If I was feeling fruity, which I'm not, but I could, you know, if I had 50 scrap, I could drop my sword, or if I had 30 scrap, I could drop my sword in there and upgrade it to a blue and give it an extra property. If I had 50, I could drop my staff in there and give it a trait, but I don't. So that's where the video ends, basically. So this has been a look at Vermintide. We never saw any bombs either. These are just area of effect things that do that. Yeah. Do I recommend this game? Yes. I've had a great time playing with it, especially if you've got a few friends that might be into it. I've been playing with my friend Tom. I've been having a great time trying to convince 2 more of our friends to buy it, so we can do a full 4-player thing. The progression is satisfying and meaningful. Each class plays differently, and like genuinely differently. They feel very different. And each career within each class plays differently from every other one and incentivize a slightly different focus in your play. They're all viable, they're all fun. It's a good time. And certainly if you like Vermintide 1, as far as I can tell, every single aspect of this is improved in some way over Vermintide 1. It seems to be well optimized. I've got a fairly high-end computer. But I'm running at 1080 extreme settings, and I don't think I've ever had a hitch below 60. Although I do have FreeSync on, so it's hard to know, but it runs extremely smoothly. I've had no problems. I've had 1 crash in 15 hours, but that was in an extremely busy area, and I don't think it was the game's fault. I think that was a computer issue. So it's reliable. It's being well supported. There's DLC coming out for it, and you know, like, oh, DLC, but the game's only 20 quid. And for 20 quid, the level of polish you're getting here is on par with a AAA game. You're getting a decent amount of content, and they're going to release more paid DLC to expand upon it and keep it entertaining for quite a long time. They supported Vermintide 1 very heavily, so I have no reason to believe that they won't support this as heavily. I'm having a great time. It's 20 quid. It's given me lots of pleasure, so I heartily recommend it. This is, you know, the rare recommendation of go buy this game. It's fun, it's meaningful, it's satisfying, and I'm having a good time. And you can blow yourself up and look at the lovely fire effects on the floor. So yeah, I recommend it. Go buy it. If you see it on sale, definitely buy it, but it's only 20 quid, so you can do a lot worse. Anyway, this has been Strawman Gaming. I'm your Strawman. I'm glad to recommend this game to you, and I'm going to come back with a few more Let's Look Ats in the near future. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you check the game out, and I'll see you later.